Good evening and welcome to another live streaming session, live from beautiful Abruzzo in fabulous, fantastic Italy. My name's David Benton, and this evening, I'm going to be telling you how you can go from dreaming about owning a home in Italy to this stage, to actually owning a home in Italy. And I'm going to tell you how you can do it in 5 simple steps using our services and telling you a little bit about why we are different to other people and what we do. So that's what we're going to be doing this evening. So it is a little bit talking about us and a little bit of advertising for us, but I'm allowed to do that every now and then, I think, aren't I? Yeah, I think so. So, because the strange thing is, did you hear my phone? Did you hear my phone beeping away? The strange thing is, even though we've been doing these webinars, these live streams now for about a year, there's still so many people that still don't really know what we do. So this evening, for one night only, but this evening, I'm going to be telling you everything. And another reason why I felt the need to do this one is because we have changed everything. We have changed the way we're working. I've been talking about it for a while. We've changed once and we're now changing again to suit you guys. Just been asking, will it cover all fees and taxes? That's a completely different live stream, but our methods are much simpler because we will be including all fees and all taxes in future. But I'm going to tell you about that shortly. If you are interested just in fees and taxes, then you can go back on the live section of our website and you can find there other webinars that we've done in the past. That's usually called Prepare Your Budget or something like that along those lines, and you'll be able to watch past events. And I am going to be doing another fees and taxes one soon. So just to tell you, next week, I can't believe now we're getting towards the end of February. What is happening? Can somebody please explain to me why time is flying so much? It's just absolutely unbelievable. So next week, next Tuesday, 27th of February, 27th, it's just unbelievable. My Abruzzo, another one of my favorite subjects, talking about this amazing region of Italy, and it truly is amazing. So if you are considering buying a property in Italy, you need to come here before you decide anywhere else. And it's a special edition because I'm going to have a few guests on that are going to tell you what they think about Abruzzo as well. So that's usually a fun one because we get a few people on here. It's a little bit chaotic, but it's all good fun. And speaking of fun, this evening, Tony, the producer, and potentially Domenico, an agent who I work a lot with, and I'm sure some of you know Domenico from the videos, will be joining us this evening, only briefly. This is going to be something I'm going to do every week just for a little bit of a laugh. And that's because Tony is desperate to learn Italian, even though he's lived here for 90 years. And not quite 90 years, but you know what I mean. And Domenico is desperate to learn English. So we're going to switch the roles between two of them. We're going to have a little bit of fun. It's only going to last, it's going to be round about 7:15. And then Domenico, if his connection is working, because we've tried it and it didn't work. If not, Tony's going to do a double cameo from Tony. It gives him something to do today. And it's a little bit of a competition. So you'll find out in about 10 minutes what's going to happen. You will hear a noise similar to this. And that means then we're just going to have a fun few minutes because people tend to get bored of me. So just thought we'd have a bit of fun in between. So yeah, that's going to be the first one tonight. What else have I got to tell you? I've got to tell you, oh yes, about if you're wanting to rent a property in Abruzzo. I've told you about this before. Lewis from Rent in Abruzzo, great name, and easy to remember. Has now got his email up and running. He's working on his website, and they basically sort of sponsor these evenings. So we like to push them a little bit. And they've got some fantastic properties. They're based in the US, or Lewis is based in the US. And if you're looking for long-term or short-term rentals around the especially around the Sulmona area, and a number of towns and villages around the Sulmona area, but there's also Palombaro that's available at the moment as well, then this is the email that you need to send emails to. Make a note of it. It's dead easy to remember. rentinabruzzo@gmail.com. And if you contact that email address, then Lewis will send you details of what he has available. So if you are looking for something, as I say, from for a week or for a month, it tends not to do 2 or 3 nights or that kind of thing, but contact him. Any inquiries you've got, and he's got some fantastic places in Sulmona, around Sulmona, different villages and places like that. And if you're also looking for somewhere for 2 or 3 months and you just want that better rate than possibly off some other websites, then just get in touch. And I said, when you do get in touch, mention that you saw it on the on our Home in Italy live streams, and obviously it will give you the best rates. That is for sure. Don't just say that I don't get anything out of it. Not interested in getting anything out of it. This is directly between you and Lewis. Lewis has bought a number of properties through us, and our payback to him is obviously to offer clients some of his properties. So get in touch if you are looking for rentals in the area. If you forget this address, Rent in Abruzzo, which should not that difficult, is it? rentinabruzzo@gmail.com, even though I have to keep reading it because I forgot it. If you do forget, then you can email us at theinfo@homeinitaly.com, and obviously I will pass your details on. When you do contact him, it's always best to include a telephone number, a mobile number with WhatsApp connected to it, because it's just a simple way to be able to speak to each other. So there you go. I remembered. I thought I might have forgotten that, but there you go. The other thing what I want to tell you about before we get started on tonight is the autumn tour dates. So these have now been set, these dates, but the booking forms are going to be on the website from the 1st of March. So that's when you're going to be able to book these. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the tours shortly. So I'm not going to go into too much in depth to it now. The 26th, 27th of September, 24th and 25th of October, 21st and 22nd of November. There are also some spaces available for next month's March, and also some available for April. I've managed to add those on. I'm looking at May now because there's a few people that's contacted me about May. So I will be getting back to you if you're one of those people that's contacted me. But if you go on the website and go on to www.ahomeinitaly.com and then go on the tours page, you can see a PDF with information about the tours, and you can book some that's available for March and April. But I think March is almost, because we managed to get a couple of bigger buses. So yeah, we managed to add a few extra seats on there. But you need to go on there as soon as possible because they tend to go really quick. And then the new dates, the autumn dates or fall dates, however you want to call it, will be out on the 1st of March. And I will go into a few details about the tours and why we do that. And also next week, when we do the My Abruzzo one, that's going to be also introducing some people that's been on these tours, and they can tell you about the tours, and they'll obviously tell you about this amazing area as well. Is that everything that I need to say today? I think it is. That's all the notices. That's quite short, isn't it? 7:08. Oh, there you go. And we're going to be having Tony's cameo soon, because Tony is going to be speaking in brilliant Italian. That's coming up, so don't miss that one. And we are hoping that Domenico joins a little bit later if he can. Domenico and technology is a little bit like me and DIY. Sometimes it's just best not to touch it, but we are going to try and see if we can get him in. That's going to be a little bit of a laugh, and we can all learn a bit of Italian as well. Not sure how much we're going to learn from Tony, but we should have a bit of fun on the way. So that's everything, all the notices. And tonight, as I say, we're going to be talking about us, basically. When I say us, our Home in Italy is made up of myself and my wife Silvana, which some of you have met and some of you have seen on the Christmas live stream that we did. And what I wanted to talk to you about today was the fact of how not just how we work, but how we can make things happen, because that's a huge thing. It sounds strange, but there's so many people that are really interested. All you guys that are sat at home now that are thinking, I love that property, or I love that, or I'd love to be able to do this, love to be able to do this. And it stays a dream because it feels like there's nobody there to help you. Well, there is. And you're looking at us. Well, you look at me. And I want to tell you how that can happen. I'm just looking at Patty's. Can I put that one on, Tone? I'm just going to put this one on the stream because Patty is, I don't know if she's back in the US now. I just got home to Arizona from Sulmona and Raiano. I left Ron in Italy. So Ron is her husband. Lewis is great. We stayed in his rental and Ron is there now. I'm missing Italy so bad. Ron got his first haircut in Sulmona. He's definitely getting comfortable in our new city. I'm so happy for you guys, Patty. I really am. And I want to get you on as some Meet the Home Buyers as well, because there's a bit of a story behind their sale. And yeah, they looking at Patty's Facebook pages, they've definitely enjoyed this incredible area, and it's so good to hear. And it's also good to hear a little bit of a thumbs up for Lewis as well, because they're staying in one of his places. So fantastic. Just having a quick look at Monica, what Monica is saying as well. Dave, I could not pay for the tour, no credit card, so come in on my own. If anything like that happens, if you don't use credit cards, I know some people don't. The best thing to do is just contact me. Contact me at info@homeinitaly.com, and we'll always find some way around it. Okay, so as I was saying, it's all about making things happen, because there are so many people that really want to buy a property in Italy, and they just run up against brick walls all the time. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the way we do it, because as I said, we have changed the way we've done things, and a lot of it is thanks to Patrick, who was saying chat, and he's going to be another future Meet the Home Buyers as well, because Patrick gave me some fantastic advice, which I would like to thank him personally again online. And he's buying a great place very close to me, so that's going to be quite dangerous, and very close to Tony. That's even more dangerous. So we're looking forward to welcoming him over here. But yeah, I want to tell you about why we created what we've done, and how we make it much easier for you to do it. Stamps are saying, so saw another YouTuber, US expat, that states, if you don't have time to come live and explore and check out the areas of Italy, then you probably aren't ready to move here. Each to their own is what I say. You know, some people are not ready unless they come, and I can understand that. But what we try and do is make it so you guys know what it's like here. And I've got a huge passion for this area, in particular Abruzzo, not just Abruzzo. What am I trying to tell you? I've got a passion for Italy, but I've got a huge passion for Abruzzo, and we're trying to get that across to you, and it is working, because lots of people are saying that they come over for the first time. I got a great email from somebody the other day to say, I'm here. I can't remember which town they contacted me from. They said, we're here because of you, and we love it, and it's fantastic. For me, that's my job done. The person's not bought anything yet, which is fine, but they're here and they love it. And yet, and then there's some of you that are ready to go now, that are sitting on the edge of your seats. I spoke to a lady a couple of weeks ago, was buying one of our video properties, and she basically said that she'd been waiting a year to get something that seemed perfect. She's found it, and she's basically put the offer in, and off we go. And it's not a pipe dream, because we see it through to the end. Sabine, I'll answer this question, Tom, then if we can hold them off for a while, because I just want to start going through things. So does he also offer long-term rental where I can register on to get residence? Yes, he does, Sabine. He has done that. Again, that is using the email, the rentinabruzzo@gmail.com. But he will definitely contact you. Okay, so what I want to talk about now is some of the changes that's going to be happening, and the website is actually well on its way now, because we're changing it again. The 1st of March is going to be when it all comes out, along with the new tour dates and everything else, and a few other things. So basically, the main thing that I want to tell you about is what our primary services are, and what our primary services will be for the foreseeable future. What do I mean by that? It's basically, we're not estate agents. I've said this many times before, but we are not estate agents. We work with some agents, such as Domenico, and we have a few others, but we are not estate agents. What that means for you is we are the people that make it all work. So we are the people that put everybody else together to get you to the end, for you to get to that point where I'm giving you these. That is what our job is, and I'm going to tell you how we do that. And I was part of an estate agency along with my wife. We were founding partners of a business for many years. This was talking 18 years ago now, of a traditional estate agency. where you charge a commission for when you sell properties, you take properties on, and all the rest of it. And obviously there's lots of those around, but for me, the system that we've got now suits people such as yourselves that are watching this, and it actually suits us because we like working in this way. So our primary services are going to be our YouTube channel that is going to be going and going and going for as long as we can keep that going, not just with properties, but we are starting to actually waiting for spring, just for the everything to look amazing. It looks amazing now, but even better in springtime, to start doing town visits and all that kind of thing. The YouTube channel has become a huge success thanks to you guys, and especially the video properties. They are going so well, and it really that covers the people that are ready to buy straight away now. The second thing that we're going to be concentrating on more are the tours. The tours are group tours that we do. We're going to start doing them 7 times a year. I actually want to try and get them to 8 times a year, because I do feel that the tours are a fantastic way of getting to know the area. And what they are is a group of us. It used to be 20 to 25 of us, but now we're about 30 to 35. Each time that we meet up in an area in Pescara. We have an aperitivo evening together. That's on the Wednesday evening. Then all day Thursday and all day Friday, we take you to different areas of Abruzzo, showing off different regions. So we do one day we go around the Sulmona side, and then the other day we do my side of the mountain, if you like, and on the coastal side of the mountain. These are just fantastic ways of being so. What can I say? Just keeping your options open. And it's not that you come here and we're here ready to get you to sign and to do everything. And that's not how it works at all. We're here on these tours to say, look, let's show you the best of Abruzzo, in our opinion. I know I keep talking about Abruzzo, but that's what these specialized these tours. That's what we concentrate on, is Abruzzo. And also the other great thing is people, they tend to get to know each other. We set up a WhatsApp group for everybody, and people get together all the time, which is fantastic, because you see people getting together in their home countries, people that come to Italy, and maybe you met somebody off the tour that's bought a property and get together. It's happening this week with a couple that's bought a property in Sulmona, and they're meeting some other friends from a tour. So it's a great way of giving each other that little bit of support, seeing the area and seeing all the properties as well, because we get to see a huge amount of properties within the 2 days, and a good mix for everything from any budget from a 20, 30, in fact, I think the cheapest one, if I remember right, it was about 15K the last time, right up to, I think the most expensive one we saw was 200 and something thousand. So you get to see a bit of everything. So the tours are a great way, if you're not quite ready yet, but you really want to come and you want to start exploring. So make sure you visit the tour page. I'm going to send everybody emails with all the new information, so you're going to have lots of information coming after the 1st of March. The third thing that we're then doing is the Patreon page. We were going to do Patreon for just after Christmas, and then I decided against it, and now I'm for it again, because again we recognize that there are people that are looking to, that are ready now, are ready to get moving now, and there's people that just enjoy the channel for what it is, enjoy these live streams to get the information, but they want to come on the tours and that kind of thing. So there's 2 completely different models, and I want to run the Patreon page because of the way that we're now going to be doing business in terms of the video properties and what we want to do on that side and to expand on that side. And I'm going to go through some of that shortly. So they are the main primary services. The secondary services that we do, and this is subject to availability. I have to say that because we're so busy on the other side of things, but these are things that we're concentrating on as well. So you have standard viewings. What a standard view is, basically you come into Abruzzo on such and such a date, out of the tour dates, and you want to view properties up to a certain amount, and so on and so on. Then properties that we have available to us through our agents, then we will obviously take you to show you those properties. They are on availability, again, because we're not estate agents. That's not what That's not what we're all about. So obviously we try and take people wherever we can. But if you are planning on coming out between, let's say, March to June or March to July, it's really important you give us lots of notice, because it is very difficult as time goes on to fit people in between video, in between sort of signings, and between our tours. But that is available as standard viewing, but it is subject to availability. So please let us know as soon as you can on that. And also, if I've asked this a few times before, and people have been fantastic with their emails, if you're not ready yet, but you just want to, I don't know, look around the area, it's pointless you booking to come and see properties. Absolutely pointless. I would rather say to you, look, let me know what stage you're at, and I would rather give you an itinerary for you to come and enjoy Abruzzo and say, look, I would go to this place and go to this place and go to this place, rather than you looking at properties that are not going to be available once you're ready. The last one is the Lean on Me service. It's going to be available all over Italy. And this is going to be quite an important part of the service. This is for people. In the past, I said to contact me before other agents, because I would try and get in and try and do things. A lot of the agents haven't really taken to that, to be fair. And I now find that having a service that complements, so if you're buying from, I don't know, a property anywhere in Italy, and you just feel like you need somebody by your side. I am not a solicitor. I cannot give you legal advice. But what I have got is 18 years of experience of knowing how these things work. And if you want somebody by your side with a dedicated telephone number and somewhere where you can just bounce things off to say, look, I've been sent this. Does this sound right? Does that sound right? And also with the Lean on Me service, I will look at all the information you're being given from the agents in terms of prices that you're paying. So I can see if any of those have been inflated. I can see if we can beat them. And the last two people that have taken on the Lean on Me service, they've actually saved more than 50%. In one case, she actually doubled the savings because of the information that I gave her to get cheaper things down the line. So that's going to be an important service as well, because what we're saying to you then is if you are buying from somebody else, then we're still here. We still have the services for you. So I'm going to go through how it works with us, just so you can understand exactly how we can do it in 5 simple steps, and how it can be so easy to suddenly get your dream property and put. So the noise, did you hear the noise? You heard that Cindy's just saying, tour is a great way to get to know Abruzzo and see a variety of properties, thanks to Dave and his team. And thank you, Cindy, as well. That noise, that air horn, it's time for Tony. Let's have a bit of fun before I quickly tell. So we need to learn some Italian, and we're going to learn. I'm going to put Tony on the spot now. I don't want anybody to write in at this moment in time, but what Tony's going to do is he's going to read in Italian. I've not given it him yet. He's got 5 seconds to read it to himself. Then he's going to read it to you guys. This is a quote from a film, and you've got to guess which film it is, but you can't guess yet. I will not even look at answers yet. You can only guess once Domenico has done it in English, which is going to be in about another half an hour. I know it all sounds stupid, but we can have fun, can't we? So anyway, Matt, I'm going to tell you, I will answer that question shortly. So I'm going to bring Tony, the producer, on. Are you ready for this? This is the first time we've done this, and I'm now going to send him. Let me just bring him on just for a little bit of fun. Where is he? Here he is. Are you ready, Tone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who doesn't know, this is Tony, the producer.
It's going to be a short story, isn't it? I can see it.
It's only about, it's about 10 paragraphs that you're going to read out. So I'm now going to read. I don't want anybody guessing now. You have to wait for Domenico to do the English version, and then you can do it. Patrick's saying, Tony. So I'm going to send Tony something that's on my WhatsApp. He's not seen it yet. A quick quote from a film. Tony, you've got 5 seconds to read it to yourself, and then you've got to read it out loud to everybody. Okay? Let me turn Tony's mic up a little bit. Are you ready for this? I'm sending you the WhatsApp message now. That should be with you. Is it with you? Don't lie to me and say it's not.
No.
Yes, it is. If this doesn't come, then this is going to make me look such a fool. This is the first time we've done this.
Wait, you've gone on the other one.
Oh, yeah. I've got 2.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that bit, did you?
Well, sorry. Are you ready? So you've got 5 seconds. Right, Tony, are you ready? So everybody listen, this is how we're going to learn Italian in future with Tony the producer. Tony the producer in his best Italian. You got to guess the film, but not now. Here we go. Over to you, Tony.
Okay. La vita è come una scatola di cioccolatini. Non sai mai quello che ti capita.
Actually, Tony, that wasn't bad for you. That wasn't bad for you at all. Anyway, did anybody get that? We've got rid of Tony straight away. Did anybody get that? Don't tell us yet. We're going to wait later. I don't want anybody guessing. If you're guessing, because the winner will be published. In fact, Tony, can I just do it one more time? Because I did really like that. And I'm putting you on the spot. Have you got it ready again? So here it again. Listen carefully to Tony's message. And here we go. Let's do.
La vita è come una scatola di cioccolatini. Non sai mai quello che ti capita.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Love it. Can't wait to hear Domenico's English. Let's hope we can get him. So no guessing yet. You've heard it twice now. Okay. I've completely lost now what I was saying. Absolutely brilliant. I knew there was two words there that were going to really mess with his head, and but there you go. Look, he's getting a good reaction as well. This is not. I don't like this. Anyway, somebody's saying they're pretty sure they got it. So anyway, okay. In fact, what we'll start and do from next week, we'll guess straight away, Tony's, but not for tonight. Okay, so moving on. Tony, whose idea was it to do this? I really no idea. Ah, well, there you go. That's us. We're very serious, but we can have a laugh as well. So, back to the important stuff and get ready for the next air horn, which will be Domenico, hopefully. If not, then we'll get Tony back on, you can all guess. What makes us different? Now, this is what being involved in the estate agents as long as I did, obviously you get to know what people like, what people don't like, their needs and all that kind of thing. But I must say that for the vast majority of years, so I've been doing this 18 years, and for 16 of those, the vast majority of people were coming out with Brits. And it was a case that we used to do exhibitions and we used to do all the traditional things that estate agents would do. So lots of advertising, we would do exhibitions to get people here and all that kind of thing. And it worked great. Our agency was successful. During COVID times, obviously, things changed. Nobody could come out anymore. The Brits weren't coming out as much because of the dread of Brexit, which we're not going to talk about. It sort of completely changed. And then I realized that the online thing, people were craving for information, and especially people from far away, and especially from the US, Canada as well, even though there's obviously the problems at the moment for Canadians buying, but hopefully that will go as soon as possible. But there was obviously this need for information, which is then why we started developing a completely different set of services to match what we felt people needed. And I've got to say, it completely changed the business. And unfortunately, we didn't see eye to eye with some of our old business partners, and we parted everything. They're still going themselves. And I certainly wouldn't say anything bad about them. We just had different ideas, and that's why we created A Home in Italy, because we realized then that people need a lot more information in this kind of form. So that's what we decided to do. And at that stage then, I was sort of throwing the net out to say, look, we'll help anybody anywhere, because I had no idea if this was going to work or not. And we had lots of ideas that we threw out to everybody. The webinars were a success. We didn't know if people were going to come out after COVID and all that kind of thing. It was really, really strange times. So we then just said, okay, whatever we can help people with, we will. And we were racing from, we'd got people buying stuff in Milan, and also the other week, somebody was, people buying in Siena, which is great. And we're still here to help do that. But what we noticed was the online presence became more and more important, especially the video properties. And what we do is we do select every property that we now put on our site. And the reason why I've put the best prices is because I've been doing this long enough now to know what something's worth and what something's not worth, and been doing it long enough to know the areas that should command more money, and the areas that try to, but then they're not quite there yet, in my opinion. And the reason why I say you get the best prices is because any agents I work with, so take Domenico, there's 5 agents that I work with at the moment. The one I work with the most is Domenico, and then Claudio, and then now Enos. And these are all people that deal in different areas. There's no conflict with any of them. And one of them, or 2 of them, but in particular one of them, Domenico, has started to change the way he works. He was a traditional estate agent as well, to suit the demand of people that I'm giving to him. And what I mean by that is he will go out and view the properties, because what I was finding before, I was getting lots of people contacting me and didn't have time to go and see properties. So he will go out just like the other agents, and they will vet the properties. They will go out and see them and give the first impression, take a few photographs and all the rest of it. Sorry, Matt's just saying, do you still be in contact with people who bought properties using your services? Oh yeah, big style, Matt, definitely. Yeah, my WhatsApp's full of everything, and a lot of them come on here as well. So yeah, they will go out, they will see the properties, then they will send details to me, and they will give me their honest appraisal of it, and also price wise. And what we do is we tell people now that we have a strong presence on YouTube, and if they want to get onto YouTube, it has to be right. The property, it has to be great location, great property, and great value for money. And I can hands-on say that every one of our video properties are exactly that. So, and the best prices come because they basically, the way it works is that they do not pay me. So that's the owners of the property. I can't ask for a commission from them, because if to do that, you have to be an estate agent. I'm not an estate agent. And our agents do not charge you as a buyer. So you can use our services to get all this over the line. So what we expect is, we expect people to take all of that into consideration, because at the end of the day, when you're selling a property, let's say you're selling a property for 100K, let's think about this. If the buyer has got to pay 3K, it's going to cost you 103K. The seller is paying 3K as a minimum. This is just sort of minimums from estate agents and the way the commissions work. So there's 6,000 in the mix already there, plus VAT, so 7,200. That's if you can get it at 3%. So the owners have got to think about that. You've got to think about that as a buyer. Then there's all fees and taxes and all the rest of it that the owner is not interested in, because that's not their problem. They paid fees and taxes when they bought. You've got to do that. But at the end of the day, there's a price that everybody's got to be happy with. The owner may have work to do with the geometry, and they may have documents to, well, they will always have 90% of the time problems on the documents that need resolving. So they will know, okay, I need to pay this person this much. I need to pay a geometer to do that. I need an energy certificate. I need this, I need this, I need the other. And it all then becomes about what everybody's happy with. What are you happy to pay for it, and what are they happy to sell it with? Because all the rest in the middle, no matter how we divide that up, or where that, who gets a commission, who gets services, who gets the geometrist part, the translations, the notary, and I can feel you all thinking, oh my God, yeah, all of this. So the easiest way to do it is just to give you a price. And in future, from now really, but I'm going to say from March the 1st, that's what's going to happen. You will get a total price, including fees and taxes. And when I say including fees and taxes, that includes our fees. That includes the notary fees, it includes translations, it includes the geometry fees. It also includes to a certain extent everything that the owner's got to put into the property, because within all of that, there's a price that the owner's going to get at the end after they've paid out whoever it is that needs to do that. So our geometry, who's a key part of this, will look at that property. So we've been to see it. He will look at the property and say, the problems with the property are this, as far in terms of documentation and what needs to be done. The owners need to do this. They need to get an energy certificate. So all of a sudden, then you're saying to the owner, look, you've got to consider all of this, because it's pointless them finding out later, because they will back out just in the same way as you would potentially back out if you're thinking, I'm buying a 30K property, but all of a sudden I found out I've got to pay 10, 12K in fees and taxes. You know, so what this does is it just stops all of that. That's the price. That's what it is. And people always say to me, but what extras do I put on top? There isn't anything. Now, well, there sort of is, but I'll go through this quickly. The only thing that's extra is if you decide to do it, if you decide to do it remotely, because then I need to send you a power of attorney and you need to go to a notary in your country. But in the US, for instance, people are paying less than $100. There's notaries everywhere. Then you need the apostle stamp. But people have told me $20 odd, $30 odd. I think the UK pays the most, where it usually costs a few hundred pounds. But that's the only, because that's not really our fees, if you like. That's something if you're given the power of attorney. But if you want to do remote sales, which we do 90% of the time, remote sales, that's all included in that price. That's covered for everything. The only time it changes in your favor and actually comes down is if you're going to become resident, because all these prices are done as non-residents. So if you're going to become resident, you will save a little bit of money on the taxes, and we'll tell you about that as well if you do decide to become resident. Marsha's saying, are you going to update the price of the properties already listed on the website? Because the summer properties are all inclusive and some are not. What you're going to find, Marsha, is we're going to be taking an awful lot off the website. And that comes to my next point: less bulk, more quality. Now, it's an old game that people used to play here. When I first started doing this, I used to find there was a certain estate agent, they're no longer here now, and they were in Abruzzo, and they had thousands of properties. Now, how can that be possible to manage thousands of properties? So what they used to do is they would bulk up their website to make sure that they got loads of properties for more what's the word? I am losing my English words. To more exposure. That's the word I was looking for. So we all used to advertise on certain websites that would go around the world and all the rest of it. But you know, if you got hi Ron from Riano, if you got 1,000 properties and somebody else only had 650 or 60 or 70, then obviously the idea was that everybody would just go to the person with 1,000. Yeah, but to me, that was the old way of doing it. And what you find now is what you probably, when I tell you this, you're probably saying, yeah, this happened to me and this happened to me. You'll contact some people, and then all of a sudden you'll find out, oh no, that property is not available anymore. Oh no, we've just sold that property. That can be genuine. Or no, sorry, that one's sold now. Or that should have come off the site. No, that one's not available to view. And the reason is because they're still playing those games of bulk properties. Because if you go and book with an estate agent that has 1,000 properties and you book today with them, they're going to show you a maximum of 10, because you can't do more than that unless they're all next to each other. Yeah. So what does that mean for the other 990 or wherever it may be? The reality is, good properties, really good properties that you say to somebody, this you should buy, because I will not tell somebody to buy. I've put people off buying certain properties, and that's through some of our agents, and that's through other agents, and I put people off just by looking at photographs, because straight away I've spotted something that they've not seen. And this is what it's all for me. It's all about getting the best, not bulking up things to make everything look great. So when you go onto our website, when you go on soon, there's actually going to be a lot that I've got rid of, because I've just decided, rather than making it look like we've got all of these, they're going, and that's it. And then any new properties, they will go on with the all-inclusive price, and you can be sure that they will have videos, and they will be ones that I really think are worth it. Now, the video properties do sell quite quickly. I've got to admit that. But that's not, people do get stressed out about it, you know, and say, I really wanted that one. But that's the nature of the game. And some people will buy properties before it even gets on the website. Ron Ron and Patty that have been mentioned. They're classic examples of that. We literally took the property that they've bought. We took that on 2 or 3 days. I'd only seen it once, and I'd not even had time to do a video or anything. And they bought. So that can happen. You know, if you're coming out here or you're coming on the tours, we're going to have new properties right up to the tours that we've not managed to publish yet. And this is going to be a big thing for Patreon as well when we do that, because we want people to have early access to some of these, not because we want to hide it from everybody else. That's not what it's all about. But there's enough properties for everybody. But people will be at different stages. There's the ones that are ready to go, and the ones that are sitting back and saying, I'm going to start looking in a year, or I'm going to start looking in 18 months, but I'm happy to keep joining these. There is something for everybody. But the important thing that you're going to know is when you go on our website, it's going to be quality. It's not going to be about filling it up and let's just see if we can get as many as possible on. And then the last thing that I've written is we actually make it happen. It seems a strange thing, but it's the truth. It's the truth that people will see something, whether it is something they've seen on our video channel, whether it's something on the website, whether it's something that, I don't know, lots of cases where people have got private, they've taken telephone numbers of private sellers and said, Dave, can you help me with this? But we make it happen. It's not going to be a dream anymore, because I've heard stories recently of people that wanted to buy properties in the north, in the far north of Italy, and they said they just got the feeling from the estate agent that it was too much hassle for them. And I can believe that on some cases, because traditional estate agents will think, well, I only speak a little bit of English myself, and I've got to get this person from there who wants to remote buy. They're not used to remote buying at all, because usually people come and look around and everything else. This person, I've got to get them over here. I don't understand what they want. I can't quite work out the system, and it all disappears. And it's actually easier for the estate agent just to say, do you know what? No, we'll just leave it. And that happens so often, and then your dream disappears. It also happens with people, no disrespect to other people with YouTube channels. Not everybody, some are fantastic, but some of them are sort of, they're just doing for YouTube, which is great. It all helps. It gives you guys that feeling that you're in Italy and you're walking around Italy and all the rest of it. That's important. But when it comes to it, can that person really help me? Or am I just enjoying the channel just for the content? Well, that's great as well. It's all about entertainment, isn't it, at the end of the day? But ours is hopefully entertaining, but we make it happen. And that is a huge thing for me. And hopefully it's going to be a huge thing for you. And that's why now we're recognizing what people need, how people want to do it, what's more convenient for people to do, because obviously if you live thousands of miles away, it's not convenient for you to keep coming backwards and forwards. So we have all the systems in place to make it happen. And that to me is a huge one. And another thing, when I talk about the video properties, what I do want to say is when you go on the website or you go onto YouTube and under the playlist section, you can look at the available properties and see what's still available. What I don't want you to think is the ones that are still available, and I'm going to make those on the new website, you're going to see those a little bit clearer, because sometimes people are not sure where to look for those. I don't want you to think there's something wrong with them, because I had the same feeling for every video property, that they are brilliant value for money. They're brilliant properties. And I simply won't video it if I've got the slightest thing that I just think, I'm just not really happy about this, or I'm not really happy about that. And that's huge for me. It's got to be, I mean, I'm not right about everything. There's going to be other properties that people buy and maybe I would never have bought it. Again, that's the nature, but that's fine. I don't mind if you've gone somewhere else and that's worked out for you, that's fine. But I need to be able to sleep at night, and I need to be able to know if somebody says to me, Dave, I'm reliant on public transport, I would rather say to them, look, well, don't look at this one that you've shown interest in and you want to buy. Don't look at it, because I don't want people coming on here and saying, well, you told me I could get a bus to here and there and I'm stuck here now and can't get anywhere. I just don't want that kind of hassle, and we want our services to be something completely unique. As I said, we're not a estate agent. We're people that we want to lay something on a plate with the trust that we get from you guys, and when we work on that trust by doing these every Tuesday and everything else that we do, and the people that come on and talk good about us, which is fantastic, I want to be able to say, look, this is going to be perfect for you. And that's what we're all about. John saying, can you provide contacts to hand workers, or better still, a building project manager? Yes, we can, John. I'm going to go through that. I'm going to go through that now. It does look like Domenico is possibly not joining. He's either chickened out or his camera's not working. So Tony's putting his thumbs down. So you'll hear the air horn soon, and we're going to have Tony repeating his earlier thing. And guess what? Guess what it is? But let's carry on just to see if Domenico happens to come on before we move on to that. So we've gone through this. So we will actually make it happen. So now what I want to quickly do. So this is us. This is how I see us, because there are different people involved in all the sales. So obviously we've got agents, some are private sellers, geometry. Everybody knows what I think about a geometry, because our geometry is fantastic. And once we found this property that I think is fantastic, Delia, that's very kind of you to say that. Thank you. It's then not just about me saying I love this property. It's then somebody else that says, yes, Dave, you love that property, but look at this, look at the problems here, or there's this here, there's that, leave it alone. And then we will just leave it alone. And my geometer, he's the one in the middle of everything that's saying, okay, well, I need to speak to the owners because they need to know they got X, Y, Z to do. I will get all the documents ready. This is the geometer, and then send it to the notary to get everything ready. He's the one. We're the ones in the middle, but he's almost sort of center middle, if you like. So we've got that. So we've got the geometry, and then we've got the notary, who's the be all and end all out of all of it. That's the only one really that you need out of all of this that I'm showing now. But we have all of those in place. I use the same notary. Very rarely I'll go to another notary. I use the same notary for a reason, because I think he's a great person, and it is a huge help. And it gives great prices because we give him a lot of business. And he's just, yeah, he's like the geometry. He's the one that I choose. And people can do what they want, go wherever they want, and all the rest of it. But we're putting together a team that we feel is the best. But people will obviously go to other people as well and buy from other places. That's absolutely fine. We don't expect to take everything. But what we do expect is that everybody that works with us, and including us, are all up to the same standard, and they're going to make sure you're treated properly. Monica's saying, Dave, that's why I try to stay calm, because I hope to find with your help that one home that fits most of my wishes in the right village or town. We'll contact you for a visit in April. And that's what we want to do. We do want to match properties to people. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to have endless meetings online, which is why we do this every Tuesday. And it's unfortunate we can't do that. And I know that annoys some people, because I had some people contact me and say, it's ridiculous that I can't speak to you before you come, and I understand that. But we're out there on the road finding properties for people and putting properties onto people's laps almost, and then getting the systems in place to make it a reality. There's a lot that goes into that, and I appreciate every client that comes to us, and I obviously want to speak to everybody, but there's a certain stage, there's a certain time when having the conversation becomes more relevant, because to have a conversation about something you could put on the email is wasting your time. And no disrespect, I haven't got the time to do that. So lots of people will say, this is what I want, and this is my wish list and all that, and it's great because they've got that off the chest, they know where they are. But we find properties that it may be absolutely perfect for your wish list either next week or next month. We don't know when that's going to come. But as soon as then you are interested in one of those properties, obviously we have to speak, and we have to, not because I'm suddenly saying, oh yeah, you're only speaking to people that want to buy, but that's obvious because they need that extra. What I'm doing up to that point is doing this every Tuesday, trying to answer emails as quick as possible, which I've been pretty good at recently. And when we tend to answer the emails between myself and my wife, and doing all of this legwork at this stage to get you to that point where you actually say, now I want to do it. And it's not then because we think that you're a better person because you want to do it, because there's nothing to do with that. That's the reality of how we work, is to get the best we can for you. And then when the time's right for you, that's then when you need that extra support. And that's what I think that's what we're best at. And hopefully everybody that's writing such nice things on here and say such nice things on other live streams, we must be doing it right. We're just trying to now pull it all together and to streamline it a little bit more. We do want to expand, but with expansion, you have to be careful, in my opinion, to not expand and lose what you're really all about, which is us doing this. and anybody that we decide to take on in future would have to have the same mentality and want to be able to deal with people the same way that we do, because that for us, for myself and my wife Silvana, is number one. We know how to. We've been in businesses for long enough to know, we feel, how to deal with people. So moving on from this one, the after sales, these are the kind of things that we can either directly help, as in we do it, or we have the people who can help. So the utility connections, so getting you set up with all your electric, your water, your gas, and all that kind of thing. Council registrations, to sort out sort of your refuge collection and all that kind of thing. Restorations, we did follow restorations. We're doing that a little bit less now because it takes up so much time. But we've got a guy who I used to work with a few years ago, and now he's back on the scene because I was working slightly out of his area, and now he's back in the area. That's going to take care of restorations. He's fantastic. But we've also got other people in different areas if needed. Residency. So to sort out if anybody wants to become residents after they've got the permission to be here. And then we have a fantastic contact as well for cross-border accountancy. What I should have written on there as well, which David Nixon will kill me if he's watching this, is we can also advise people for foreign exchange. We have the brilliant contact. As you all know, David joins us every now and then from Currencies Direct. He's fantastic. So if you do want to know about his service as well, then send me an email to info@homeinitaly.com. And that doesn't matter where you're buying properties, anywhere in the world. If you need to change from your currency to their currency, let me know and I'll send you a link. So they're the after sale. So we like to think we've pretty much got everything covered. So quickly now, before the air horn comes on and Tony gets his little moment again, 5 steps to your home in Italy. And this is literally the 5 steps. This is what it takes. This is all it takes. This is with us. So I'm not saying how other people are going to. Tony's actually holding up a thing because I was looking at that as well, Tony. Usually on these live streams, obviously whoever's watching us live, we get a number come up, and then people come in late and those numbers count in a different way. Sorry, I'm changing the subject. And for the first time, we just hit 200. It was only for about 2 seconds. But thank you everybody, absolutely fantastic. When we go offline, obviously people continue to watch it and it makes great numbers through the night, but that's the first time live we've got 200. So thank you so much. So these are the 5 steps to your home in Italy. This is what we do. This is how we get you from, oh, I love that property, to this. And this, I just can't wait to be giving keys to people. With all the remote buying, we've got so many keys here where people have bought properties without coming over and nobody's been out to see them yet. So it would be nice to start handing keys over. So the initial deposit towards fees. So once you've found the property that you love and we've said to you, look, this is the price, this is all in, this is everything. And we've had that conversation with you, and because even from the video properties, it's not that we suddenly just say, okay, pay the deposit on that page and then we'll speak to you. Not at all. Victoria's saying, really, after sales, if we can't buy with you, can we still pay you a fee for after services? Certain ones, yes, Victoria, it depends on the areas and that kind of thing. We certainly don't do that, even though we're set up now to move quickly on things and get things moving. What we don't do, it's not that informal where we say, right, you love that video property, you better be quick because there's another 20 waiting for this. We do everything in date and time order. Nobody skips the queue. Whoever sends the email first, that's the way it has to be done with that. With tours, it's different. Obviously, you see properties all together and all the rest of it. But when it comes to the video properties, everything's done in. This is Lewis, by the way. This is the guy that rents the places out. And the strange thing with Lewis, I always change subjects, don't I? Quite easy. And I'm sure he won't mind me saying it, but it's what the number of properties he has got. The idea is what he wants to do. He's never even been here yet, and so it's always nice when people who are staying in his places say how fantastic they are because he's not seen any of them yet. So but that's what it's like at the moment. That is 90% of the sales is that. It's quite a strange thing, but that's what's happening. Laura's got a great place. I'm completely going off track now. Scott and Laura, they're going to be coming on soon as well from Meet the Home Buyers. They've got a fantastic place in Predsa. So initial deposit towards the fee. So once you've said, I love that video property, or I love whichever property, that property on your website, I've been viewing with you, I've been on a tour, I've done this, I've done that, I've done the other. What happens now? I say to you, this is the price. This is the total price. No more than this. If it's any more than that and I've messed up somewhere, then that comes from our part, and that's the way it is. The initial deposit towards the fees gets knocked off that price. It's usually about 1,500, and that's for us to start the ball rolling. We then get your tax code if you haven't already got it. Codis fiscal. We then do a compromesso, which is the promise to buy, promise to sell, where you pay round about between 3,000 to 5,000 euros. We've gone through these documents before. I'm not going to go in depth into each one of these because we have done live streams on them before, and we will do more. But we do the compromesso to tie you in. That's usually 2 to 3 weeks after the initial deposits. We need time to get your codis fiscal and things like that. Then we sort out a power of attorney that we send to you in English. You then go to a notary wherever you are and get the apostle stamp on it as well. Send it back to us so we're ready to go. Then by then we've already booked a date, and then we get to the notary and we sign on your behalf. It is as simple as that. It genuinely is. There are 5 stages, and that's how it is. So Patricia's saying, is the actual closing costs extra? No, the prices that we advertise that say are inclusive of all fees and taxes. That's it. We want to make it as easy as we can because we're trying to get a system, which thanks to Patrick, who's been helping me with this, we're trying to get a system that is more streamlined, that's easier for you to use, and that includes saying to you, this is it. This is what it is. No surprises. And all down the line, whether you need to register with somebody that's going to help you with the foreign exchange, whether you're going to register with an accountant later because you want to speak to them about moving here and the rest of it, we have everything covered. Whether it's done by ourselves or whether it's done by one of our trusted partners. When I say that, I'm talking about people who we really know, people who are friends, above everything. Friends and colleagues that have been chosen for a reason. So we have everything for you. We need to streamline our business to make it what you guys need. And then at the end of the day, if you're watching this and thinking that you're not ready yet, then don't give up on the channel. This channel is not all about people that are ready now. That's part of the business. But this is about getting you all prepared and ready for the future. And I really appreciate everybody writing these nice things. Jerry lives just up the road from. We've still not got together, Jerry, yet. We've still not had our meal together. They live literally. If I got in my car now, I'd be in Jerry's house in 2 minutes. And we keep saying that we're going to have a meal together. We haven't done it yet, but we are going to do it. And Jerry was the same in other ones. She'd not seen the property. In fact, if I remember rightly, Jerry had not even been to Italy before. But these are the services that we're doing, and we're going to make it easy for you that's ready to buy now, and we're also going to make it more enjoyable and have more information for those of you that are ready to buy in future, or those that are coming out on the tours. We've got everybody covered, but it's just important for us to let you know how we do it and what we don't do. I said we're not estate agents. What we don't do and what we do. Somebody's just asking if we can help properties that we haven't seen. Of course, yeah. I mean, just because I like to see them for anything that we're marketing. But if you've been to a property or seen a property with anybody else, that's what the Lean on Me service is all about. Or you may be buying from a private seller. We have services for that as well. Okay, so there you go. What else can I say other than Domenico has obviously chicken. So there's the noise. Tony, you're gonna have to do it again, and then I'm waiting now for the for everybody to guess what this is. So you ready for Tony to come on one more time? Let's have last little bit of fun. Tony, are you ready? Can I bring you on? He's nodding his head. You ready?
Yep.
Have you been practicing?
Ready, boy.
Right. So for anybody that has just joined us now and wondering what the hell's going off, this is a new thing we're going to do every week. Usually it's going to be Tony and Domenico, but Domenico couldn't get on tonight, so we'll get him definitely for next time.
It's like watching Morecambe and Wise.
So Tony, who is trying to learn Italian, I've given him a phrase in Italian from a famous
Reading
film.
it again.
You've got to read it again, yeah. So he's going to read it again, and then people can quickly guess before we sign off. So Tony, are you ready? Have you got it all prepared? So listen to it carefully, and this is from a famous film, and let's see if anybody can get it from Tony's fantastic Italian. I'm going to hand the mic over to you. Go.
La vita è come una scatola di cioccolatini. Non sai mai quello che ti capita.
Did you get that, everybody? Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess which film that has come from?
We've had a few.
I know, yeah, but I've ignored. Oh, here we go. Somebody's got it. Stamps has got it. Stamps is the first one. Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolate, and I absolutely love it. I knew that word chocolatini would definitely get you, Tony.
Yeah, I can't get my tongue around it.
So well done, Stamped. It is Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. So la vita è come una scatola di cioccolatini. I've got to read this myself. Non sai mai quello che ti capita. There you go.
That's what I said.
But you did very. I know that's what you said. You did very well that time. I've got to admit, I thought chocolatini would have just thrown you out big style.
It did a little. I have to break it down into manageable chunks.
Literally. Anyway, thanks, Tony, for that. Hope everybody enjoy that little section. Next week we are going to get Domenico on here as well, who's going to do the same, but in English. He's going to have one in English, and you go try and guess that. It's a little bit of fun, isn't it? We've got to we've got to do this. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I can't believe we've gone over the 200. We're at 210 now. I think it went up to 215 at one point. So obviously, word is getting round about these, and that is so important to us. And there's always the bit of fun we have. There's always a serious note about all of this, and it's all about getting you here, getting you to Italy, and in particular Abruzzo, because it's just an amazing place. It's as simple as that. I'm not the only one that says that you see it from loads of people. But if you're buying elsewhere, that's absolutely fine as well. And we're there if you need us. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your support again. Next Tuesday, we're going to be doing the My Abruzzo, and we're going to have a few people coming on that's been on tours. I'm going to get a bit of a mixture of a few different people. I may even get Lewis on if he's watching, considering he's never even been here and bought properties here. We may ask Lewis, see if he'll join us next week as well. So I speak to him all the time and still never met him in person. And it's strange. We have so many relationships with all. Every time I see names coming up and see Patty and see Ron, you know, they've gone through everything with us, and I've still not met them either. It is a weird thing for me because I am really a people person. And it is strange, but it just shows that the power of this and of all of us being together and enjoying these Tuesday nights, which I really enjoy as well. I don't know, it's strange. It gets us, and Bo's another one. Bo's buying a great place as well. Good to hear from you, Bo. It's just it's weird, isn't it? I feel really, I don't know. I feel honored, to be fair. I'm going to go before I start getting emotional. I'm a very emotional person. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you again next Tuesday at the same time, 7 p.m. Italian time, and we'll do My Abruzzo. And once again, I'm going to tell you how amazing this area is. See you really soon.